Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it.
Is that your solution every
Hold it. No, sit down.
why you're a clown.
Sit down.
Look at you.
You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond, Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it.
And there you heard Bernie Sanders going back to his Brooklyn roots to break up a standoff last November between Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin and Teamsters President Sean O'Brien. But what started out as a potential throwdown later ended up as a strange bedfellows friendship after President Trump called Mullin to mend fences with the head of the Teamsters. Joining us now, the man himself, Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. The first time Sean and I sat down and actually had a good conversation is actually after Trump had asked us to sit down and talk. And to Sean's credit, he actually reached out to me first. And when we sit down, we had a good conversation about just who we are as a person. And he was quick to apologize that he should have read my bio before he went to the meeting. And then him and I had a conversation, and I said I could have handled things different. But once we got past the formalities, him and I sat down and really had a conversation about the party and where it's at. And he said, listen, I'm a Democrat, born Democrat, will die a Democrat. But I also represent my brothers in the Teamsters, and the Democrat Party has left us. So we as Republicans have to do a better job saying, hey, look, there may be some differences, but we're representing the working class out there. We're representing the middle class. We understand that the economy drives on the laborers that's out there every day making this country go around and round the way that it is. And the Democrat Party has left you, so we want you part of our party. And I think Sean has been the first one to actually make that step. And man, that's bold. That's honestly the type of guy Sean is. He's there for his union members, as he calls his brothers, and he's going to go where they are, regardless of what he believes. As he said, he's a Democrat through and through, but he's representing the Teamsters right now, and that's where they're at. They're with President Trump.
That's so encouraging to hear that conversation actually took place, especially, you know, I have no doubt he is not going to be changing his party registration anytime soon. But at the same time, the fact that he is able to have that conversation with you is something the Democrats don't want to highlight. They keep saying that we're not having these conversations, we're not coming together, that we need to get to a place where we do that, but they don't highlight conversations like that. So I think that was an important one to have. My question to you is, how do you think the unions coming to the Republican Party will change the way that unions act or operate in states like Oklahoma?
Well, I think there's been a misconception that just because we're a right-to-work state, we're anti-union. We're not anti-union. We want people to make their own choice. What we don't want is that an individual is forced to join a union because they need a job. What we want them to do is choose to join a union. There's a place for unions. I've never been against unions. There's positives and there's negatives about being a union shop and about not being a union shop. And so the fact of the matter is the employee should have the decision or the choice to make that decision if they choose to. And I think there's some differences between the unions, without a doubt. But that's where conversations take place. It's like Sean and I. There are some things that we won't agree on, but there's more things that we do agree on. And those are the things that him and I have focused on right now is like, where can we work together to say, listen, the middle class is being left behind. How can we make sure they're not? And how can we make sure we have a strong economy that can hire the union brothers or even the non-union guys that choose not to be part of the union? But I've always been this. I don't want to be bullied into doing anything. And I think Sean would say the same thing, and his Teamster brothers would say the same thing. Is, you know, I don't like to be bullied. They don't like to be bullied. And so when you're talking about a right-to-work state, how can both work together? How can private industry work with a union shop and a non-union shop? We do it in Oklahoma, and we do it very well. Unions are strong in Oklahoma, but so is the private sector that aren't unions too. So we can set aside our differences, and that's what we do in politics, and maybe we don't do it very good. But in this case, I think the unions can find a spot and a home in the Republican Party if we can sit down and actually have a dialogue like Sean and I did.